Bedeviled, Jinn Doppelgangers in Islam and Akbarian Sufism by Dunja Rašić. Folks, this is such a good book. It's so good. I have only in the past known to refer people to another book called Jinn Sorcery. When people have asked me, do you know any good books on the jinn? Well, I can confidently add this book to my very short list of 2 books now on the topic of jinn, in the English language. There's surprisingly little out there of high quality on the topic of jinn. Well, Seyyed Hossein Nasr is the editor of this SUNY series of books, this SUNY press. And I'm a huge fan of Seyyed Hossein Nasr's. I read his book, The Heart of Islam, when I was studying to be a teacher of religious studies. And it opened my eyes to the esoteric aspects of Islam. And oh my goodness, that's such a good book. But we're not here to talk about Seyyed Hossein Nasr. We're here to talk about Dunja Rašić's fantastic new book, specifically on the Jinn Doppelgangers. So in the early pages of her book, she talks about how she had originally intended to just make a book on everything that's known about the jinn, and she realized very quickly that would be quite impossible. It would be a monumental task, the resulting book would be quite unwieldy and nobody would probably read it. But she decided to focus on a very specific kind of jinn, the Qurana, or singular would be Qarin, guys, the result is fascinating, absolutely fascinating. And she's got such an engaging voice. It's so interesting to read. I couldn't put this book down. Just every page was eye-opening for me. Like a new bit of information that helped so much other information that I'd learnt from the Christian perspectives and from the Jewish perspectives. Just bringing so much of that into light and to you could say fruition, right? Just understanding so much more, just because of the etymology of words that had clearly been shared between cultures naturally, right? I mean, it's what you can expect. But yes, having this third perspective, oh my goodness, just makes so much sense, so much sense. I just want to insist on how engaging Dunja's writing is, because it's not very often that you'll find a book that is this informational, that clearly has got this much research behind it, written in such an engaging way. Now, the book is not actually as long as you might think. At least a third of the book is endnotes. Right. Well, you know that I do tend to prefer endnotes on the page, but here, like, there are so many endnotes. Right. This is almost all endnotes. There's a very extensive bibliography at the end there, but you've got you've got about 40 pages of endnotes, and it really would have made reading this much less engaging. So I'm fully endorsing this, and because it's going to call you to read more than once. You're going to want to read it over and over again because it's so much fun. And then I would say that the first time you're just going to read it through, and then the second time you're probably going to go, oh, I would like a little bit of information there. And oh, look, there's a little number. Okay, I'll go and look it up in the back, and just be just fascinated with, once again, a really engaging footnote. A surprise, like, how does one make a footnote engaging, right? I mean, really, very cool writing style. Okay, regarding the Qarin, so the plural Qurana, the idea is that, so the Qurana was really documented, by Ibn Arabi, and Ibn Arabi is really a major focus in this work, and his information, right? His writings on the Qur'an, and it seems it's very difficult to not draw a very direct parallel between these doppelganger jinn and Carl Jung's concept of the shadow self. It seems to be a one for one, at least in terms of their phenomenology, like how they manifest. It's very, very difficult to not kind of make that correlation, right? The idea is that every human being is born with a Karin, who encourages the human being to act badly, do bad stuff, and then the person either gives in and is a slave to the Karin, or does not give in, and then the Karin converts to Islam and becomes a force for good. The details in here on the types of work that are done with the Karin, absolutely fascinating, folks. Now, this is not a how-to, by the way, okay? Dunja Rašić does give information on where to find information, right? She does tell you that that, for example, Al-Arabi gives instructions on how to call the jinn, but she also gives information on how he says, well, that's not really the point. And so you could say that this is a little bit more of a meta book. It's not a practitioner's book. It's a book for people who are interested in the concept of the Qur'an, and who want to know where to find more. Because my word, if you turn to the very back and to the bibliography, it's just pages and pages and pages and pages and pages and pages of bibliographies. It's fantastic. It's just a starting point for a lifetime of research and study. And then, of course, really, and I say of course, but I don't mean of course, I mean gratefully, a very comprehensive index for finding your way back to your favorite passages, because yes, this book is likely to stay with you long after you've finished reading it. I'm just really grateful to Dunja Rašić for writing such an engaging and an approachable book on a topic that's not very well documented. I'm showing you the hardcover version that is the only version that is currently available. However, it's quite expensive, right? It's not really within the reach of most readers. And so I'm delighted to tell you that Dunja has told me that the intention is to make this into a paperback edition by the end of the year. So October, I think, is more or less around Halloween, is more or less the time when this will be available as a paperback. These hardcovers are really destined, she told me, to libraries. That's the reason why these are out at such a price. They are really intended for libraries. If you're hoping to pick one up, I can show you it is very much in the come on, get some light on this. In the paper, what do you call it? Print on demand style, right? Although it's not print on demand. So yes, I would wait for the paperback edition, unless you just want the security of the hardcover. My guess is that I'm going to read this many times. My first read through has just been so illuminating. I'm guessing that, yes, I'm going to want to come back to this several times. So possibly investing in a hardcover might not be such a bad idea. But yes, it's definitely not a beautiful leather bound copy or anything like that, But that's really not the point that we're talking about here. We're talking about the quality of the contents, the quality of the research, the quality of the writing, all come together for a strong recommendation from me, folks. This is really good. Whether you're interested in the Arabic lens of just looking at Solomonic magic, or if you're interested in actual work with the jinn, this will give you a solid understanding of this particular type of jinn, right? Of this particular type of jinn. But she does also go into some detail about the jinn taxonomy in general. So you won't only learn about the doppelganger jinn. You'll learn about some history. You'll learn about some accounts of people who've met these jinn, etc., etc. Just historical accounts. Yeah, it's good. It's really, really good. I'll leave details in the description down here for those of you who'd like to pick this up online. And if you enjoyed the review, don't forget to leave a thumbs up. Subscribe down below. Yeah, hit that like button. And I'll see you very soon with another video. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.